You know where we go? Oh.
Push it through?
Well, or do you want to walk in front of it and talk, and I'll push?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, we're broadcasting, so.
Okay, we're live, folks. We're live back on the camera. We're broadcasting. Say hi to your parents. You guys ready?
I wave. You're on the interweb.
We are now broadcasting live, and you are on the interweb, famous for being the rose-carrying graduates of 2019. Say hi to your family and your band.
My family's here. No one else said.
Guten Tag. Matt, what do you have to say to your fans and your minions everywhere? Thousands of people wondering what is on your mind at this moment.
You know, just keep on keeping on. Gotta get pucks deep, get pucks to the net. You know, they're a good team. Play a good 20 minutes of hockey. You know.
Ty, say hi to the interweb.
Hi.
Anne, are you excited?
Everyone. Very excited. Big smiles. Woo!
Kaden, now's the chance. Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to say hello to?
Who do you want to say hello to? Kaden?
Nobody.
Oh!
You want to talk to Jaw? Jaw.
2 minutes. 2 minutes that we enter. God bless you.
What's that? Live stream.
Live stream.
You know what it reminds me of? Like in those like old like YouTube movies where like there's like a world person like this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I got first two. I know.
Did you like my hockey?
Like I've already had enough, but.
Sorry.
And my
Are we still on the air?
We are. We are still live. Still a live broadcast.
Wait. Oh my god, I'm nervous. Oh my god.
You got 1 more minute. I'm just gonna.
I'd like to acknowledge your gathering of the traditional and unceded lands of your country. Unceded. Gentlemen, hi, come on in, 1 minute. Yeah. We have introduced We're starting in 1 minute.
We're ready? Where's Steve going?
Yeah. It's just Can you announce?
Okay, you guys ready? Here we go, here we go.
Rise, I remember. Is it rise?
Join me.
Just join me, welcome.
Okay, remember, smiles. You're hot.
My name is Jada Yoku, and I have been a student here at Aberdeen Hall for 6 years. In these 6 years, I have grown as a person, student, and athlete due to the consistent support the school has given me in order to achieve my goals. I am really excited to be standing, surrounded by my fellow classmates, as they have also made me into the person I am today. Each one of you has a special place in my heart. It is such a pleasure to share the intensity of emotions filling the room today, as our graduating class is now closing the high school chapter of our lives. Parents, you are probably wondering where the years have gone. As you marvel at your sons and daughters' accomplishments, it doesn't seem that long ago when these now young adults we honor today were toddling off to kindergarten. We are the class of 2019, and I am so proud of each and every one of you. Thank you all for being a part of some wonderful memories that we will cherish forever.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Anna Phillips. I have been a student here at Aberdeen Hall for 2 years now, and every step of the way I have learned so much. I am so thankful to have been given the opportunities, the relationships, and the friendships that I have been blessed with here at our school. I will miss you all dearly. We would like to take a moment to recognize and acknowledge the individuals who have made our high school experience so memorable. First off, we would like to thank Mr. Oz. Mr. Oz, you have shaped every single student this year and helped us thrive during challenges and to be a unicorn in a world of horses. Thank you, Mr. Akery, for keeping us on track with our futures and being the biggest support system. Thank you to the Parent Guild for working tirelessly behind the scenes to give us these little joys that we appreciate so very much. Then to the teachers. Thank you for putting up with us and devoting your time to make sure that we learn and succeed both in and out of the classroom. In the short time I've been attending Aberdeen Hall, I have seen so much growth. It is crazy to see how far this school has come. There are some students that have been here since the very beginning, and I know that we all dedicate the growth of this school to a very special person. Let's give a warm welcome to the head of our school, Mr. Grieve.
I would first like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional and unceded lands of the Okanagan People. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Grieve, head of school, and it is my honor to recognize today's grads. Today we celebrate their accomplishments and see them enter the next stage of life. Our lives are divided into stages and milestones, and every once in a while it is nice to step back and reflect. This is a big deal. You guys have done great. It's a big deal for you and for all of our guests, particularly your parents. 18 years ago, give or take, your parents welcomed you into this world. Your first milestones included walking, talking, toilet training, the first day of kindergarten, perhaps driving a car, and then whammo, here you are. Life stages include elementary school, high school, university, more university perhaps, job, spouse, house, kids, grandkids, and retirement. And for your parents' sake, try to do that in a somewhat predictable order. The upcoming college years, they are exciting times indeed, very special. A wonderful time where you have additional autonomy, increased independence, a similar amount of responsibility, which is nice, to what you have now. Most importantly, you have youth. So special. Special times indeed. The times ahead are not easy. Life as a young adult is hard, and thank goodness for that. After that, they say you enter the real world. After university, you enter the real world, and I ask myself, what exactly is the real world? I guess the real world includes a career-type job, a spouse, a couple of children, perhaps a mortgage, and before you know it, you will be in those seats. And everybody in those seats, we hope, will be in Mexico on the beach. A quotation from Margaret Mead, one of my favorites. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Let's dig a little deeper for this message. It takes two things to get things done. Essentially, leadership and work, often hard work. Leadership can take many forms. Sometimes it just includes showing up. Sometimes it requires sticking it out. It usually includes some form of sacrifice. Carrying through the thick and thin, like your parents have many times. Being generous, understanding what's important, the list goes on. Leadership also requires a team. And I ask you, and this is my last little message, who is on your leadership team? Usually your mom, your dad, Grants, it might be that odd Uncle Bill, sorry to any Bills that might be in here. And so I ask, who is on your leadership team? The wonderful thing about family, it is your built-in leadership team for life. Congratulations, grads. It's great to see you develop and prosper. Some I've been with for many, many years. Hands up, who was in the old Ackland building? I was going to say names, but there's two. And so that's been a long, special time. We will miss you. Please remain connected. I will now call up Mr. Avery.
Community is of the utmost importance here at Aberdeen Hall, and our grads hold a very special place in our community. They each leave a particular mark on our school community, and many of our teachers share a connection with some of these grads that extend beyond the numbers, beyond the essays, and beyond the classroom content. Our spotlight speeches are an opportunity for a faculty member to reflect on particular students and to speak briefly to and about those students. A great deal of thought is put into these words, and it's not unusual for a closed-door meeting to be required to sort out who gets to speak about particular students. Today I have the pleasure of speaking on behalf of our first three graduates, and so I'm going to call up Tessa Monahan, Lucas Haberman, and Quinn Waller. And Quinn, I'm going to call you to the spotlight first. I think one highlight of Quinn's high school career has been tormenting me about my choice of hockey team for the past 3 years. See, the thing is, every time he reminded me that my to-be-unnamed team was not making the cut, he did so with knowledge and insight that was really difficult to resist. See, working with Quinn has been truly a highlight for me. He's shown himself to have unique perspectives, a fantastic sense of humor. When he talks, I listen, and we've had some great conversations. His knowledge is far from limited to hockey, and Quinn's take on history, on politics, it's a lesson in detail and background knowledge. It's always fun to know what Quinn is focusing on for the time being, and his involvement in the history club this year was really cool. As he heads off to UVic to tackle a commerce degree, Quinn will find new and interesting areas of focus. And Quinn, I really look forward to hearing you come back and tell me about those new adventures. Congratulations, buddy. One evening about 3 years ago, I ran across Tessa in her workplace. She may not remember. She was staring off into the distance. Things were particularly slow that night, and she started a little bit when I called her name. Well, it's been interesting to hear about the last 3 years. I know she's stuck with it. And she's advanced upwards in her workplace. She's proved to be valuable, and she's looked ahead to new and awesome challenges. And that's my experience with Tessa. She's determined and hardworking. And when I've had the pleasure to teach her, she's been a leader who's always placed high expectations on herself. She's also brought her talents to the stage for years in her theater productions, earning high praise for her work. Tessa is empathetic, and I know of times when she's reached out to those in our community who are going through a hard time. Her wide-ranging abilities are certainly notable, and as she heads off to the Sauder School of Business in pursuit of a commerce degree, I know that her new school is gaining somebody who cares, somebody who's capable, and somebody who will give her all. Congratulations, Tessa. young man of clear opinions. His opinion that day that I ate a cinnamon bun was clearly that an injustice had been committed, but he shouldn't have snuck it in. And I think we got past it. We may not always agree, but I sure enjoy engaging with him in dialogue. Lucas has always impressed me with his willingness to get involved. From signing on to be a teacher's assistant this year, to playing on our first ever ultimate frisbee team, to being the only member of our class that actually dressed up like a pirate on Pirate Day in Indian world history. I appreciate what he brings and what he shares with all of us. As he heads off and begins earning his commerce degree at the University of Alberta, I have no doubt that Lucas will rub shoulders with influential people, formidably oppose those he disagrees with, and earn the respect of those who he works with. Lucas, I'm going to miss the humor and the surprise that you bring to my office daily. All the best at the University of Alberta. I'd like to invite up Ms. Bertie.
I'd like to invite up Nancy and Rachel. I'm going to start with Nancy. I first met Nancy last year in my senior art class. It was her first year in Canada and my first year at Aberdeen Hall. Over the past 2 years, we have gotten to know each other better and have shared many good laughs. Her smile and cheerful nature regularly warmed my classroom. I love watching Nancy get lost in her art, especially in her sketchbook. She has such a fierce focus when she is passionately working that I never wanted to disturb her when she was in the zone. I am positive that Nancy will put the same dedication and intense focus into her journey at university as she pursues statistics in Toronto. It has been a pleasure teaching Nancy, and I wish her the very best in her future endeavors. Call up Rachel. I've had the pleasure of teaching and getting to know Rachel over the past 2 years. Her artistic talent stood out and caught my eye right away. It wasn't just her artistic skills that caught my attention. I am so impressed with how Rachel uses art as a platform to visually represent global issues that she is passionate about. She has a passion for equality and social justice and a heart for people that is clearly evident the minute you get to know her. I can honestly say that Rachel is one of the most caring and compassionate students that I've ever had the pleasure of teaching. I know that she will find success at UBC as she completes a degree in journalism, and I wish her all the best. Congratulations.
Can I please call up Molly, Chase, and Anna to the stage? And Chase, you will be first. All right. So I first met Chase when I was on maternity leave, and he came to stay with us for 2 weeks while he figured out his homestay. I soon realized that he was more responsible than most adults, including myself. Chase awoke every morning at 5 a.m. before anyone else to make his protein shake and iron his uniform, which I had to buy an iron when he moved in. I knew instantly that I wanted to teach him, so I was so excited when I got the opportunity to the following year. Chase, the mature, the responsible one, he offered great insight into our Law 12 class when we discussed very complex cases. I was just excited to finally use my toddler's favorite Paw Patrol phrase, Chase is on the case. If you have a toddler, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I did say it lots, and if he was ever annoyed with me saying it, personable and relatable at the same time. Chase might not miss my catchphrases, but I'm going to miss him and our math class coffees together as he goes to TRU next year. Before she finished, she left my class distraught. And I had two thoughts. One, why is Anna checking her email during class? And two, do universities know what they would be missing out on if they didn't accept her because Anna no hablo español? No habla. Thankfully, she solved this case. She was informed and persuasive, rational and confident, and she assembled a team to make everything okay again. I like to think that she learned these skills in our law class. However, I know that these core traits run much deeper in her. My favorite trait is her willingness to help a friend out whenever, even if it means leaving class early. Anna also gives the best hugs. I'm so excited for her to study health sciences and make master next year. Molly joined halfway through grade 11, and this must have been very challenging, as she had to navigate a new school, new friends, and new teachers. I had the pleasure of watching Molly's journey firsthand, and I, like other teachers, pushed for excellence from her. At first, I sensed her resistance, but as time went on, Molly began to want more and more for herself. Academically, she was always wanting feedback, always striving to be and do better. It was like she wanted to absorb everything she could in her last year here. I started to notice Molly demonstrate leadership in other areas too. Helping with the fashion show, buying toilet paper for our drive for the Salvation Army, and delivering an inspirational year-end speech. Actually, I have to stop and correct. Molly thought she and Anna bought toilet paper. It turned out the majority of it was paper towel. The thought was there. The things you learn. As she graduates today, it truly feels like she joined this family in first grade. I'm going to miss her vibrant personality next year when she attends UBCO.
Good afternoon. I would like to invite Kirsten and Yoshi up, please. Kirsten, you get to be front and center. Well, hey Kirsten, it's grad speech time. And I was given over a month to write something amazing, but I can only come up with a few words that meant anything to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I could say that you're going to the University of Calgary entering the business program, which is very cool. I could talk about your dry sense of humor, or how extremely strong-minded you are. I respect those. I could mention all the times in calculus class when I would plead for you to get to work. Yet you would look at me like I was out of my mind. Let's not talk about that. I could comment about our advisory circle discussions and how you would speak your mind and help get everyone involved. I appreciated that. I could discuss how you showed up to every advisory class for the last 3 years and helped me with attendance or just hung out and talked. Good times. I could say a lot of things. However, the only thing I really want to say is I am going to miss you. Yoshi, come on. When I first met Yoshi, I was reminded of that little green dinosaur in the Super Mario video. In fact, I see a number of similar traits between the two. First of all, Yoshi the dinosaur ate everything. Our Yoshi eats constantly, even during class. His favorites are Doritos and leftover anything. Secondly, both Yoshis like to throw things. Yoshi the dinosaur threw things to knock over his enemies. Our Yoshi loves to throw baseballs. So much so, he sometimes carries a ball and glove in his school backpack and has, on occasion, been seen in the school imitating the motions of throwing a guy out at first base. Finally, both Yoshis are always smiling and make life better for those around them. They are helpful, generous, and would put you on their backs if you asked them to. Yoshi, your positivity and kind heart will always be your best attributes. From now on, whenever I play video games and see that green dinosaur, I will remember you. I would like to invite up Ms. Hill, please.
Can I call up Hayden and Zach? Hayden, you first. Even in a uniform school, you can always tell which students have a great sense of style. Hayden is one of those students. His style is displayed in his non-uniform sweaters and his hair that looks like he just got out of bed, but you know he fusses with it all day long. Hayden is not a follower that worries about standing out. He likes to be noticed. In the last 2 years, he has been at Aberdeen Hall. He has matured and grown as a young man. He has established his loyalty as a friend, and he has demonstrated his desire to do well in school. Next year, Hayden will be attending UBCO, where he will continue to be styling. Hayden will always remember this day, Hayden, you will always remember this day, and so will all of us who are here cheering you on. The best of luck to you always. I first taught Zach when he was in grade 8. Back then, the one thing I knew is math was not his favorite class. After that year, I didn't teach him again until this year in Chemistry 12, and of course, Art Studio. When he arrived in my classes, the first thing I noticed was the respect he had for the learning environment we created in our classroom and the dedication he had to be the best in all of his classes. His dedication didn't just stop in the classroom. Zach worked hard at his training for lacrosse, and he was even accepted to Concordia University to play on their team, but he's decided to stay closer to home at UBCO. Zach, it's a privilege to know you, to think about all that you have achieved, and to be with you on your graduation day. We wish you the best of luck, no matter where you end up.
All right, I'd like to invite up Neil and Sierra. Kelowna nailed it. The man has got style. You see, style isn't all about the clothes you wear. It's how you present yourself. It's who you are. The style is in Neil's voice, his posture, his choice of words, his haircut, the way he carries himself, and occasionally the underwhelming joke. All of these little minute details determines one's style, or simply put, your overall impression. Over the past 3 years, the impression that Neil has left on me is confidence. Neil's ability to face any and all obstacles with the same brazen attitude you see standing right there before you is actually nothing short of inspiring. See, he may not have always chosen the most conventional route when problem solving, but you can be sure he always found his Neil-esque way of succeeding. Neil, your charisma, your brand of humor has brought so much joy to others throughout your time here at Aberdeen Hall. I've enjoyed watching you grow over the past years, and I'm positive you're going to succeed in all your future endeavors, and with absolute style. It is a difficult task to capture the impression a student such as Sierra can leave on you. So instead, I'll give you an example. It's been a long day, and as the last student leaves to go home, you find Sierra waiting. She gives you a shifty smile and a suspicious glance and speaks, all while inhaling the last morsel of food in her lunch tray. Mr. Brooks, you wouldn't happen to have any more food on you, would you? You just gotta eat too, you know? So, it's been a straightforward and sincere attitude that has graced the halls of Aberdeen this last 11 years. Now, I can stand up here and I can monologue all day about her wonderful accomplishments over the years. Captaining 3 different sports teams, achieving multiple athletes of the year, being a foundation of her TOFC backline, all while maintaining an impressive GPA. But to me, for all of her tremendous accomplishments, I believe her greatest achievement is knowing herself. Sierra, you know who you are. Be proud of that fact, because it is that person that has you on that stage right now. All the accomplishments and successes I've just listed, because you are there. The loyal friends that you have, because it's you. And it's because you are comfortable with yourself and you hold tight to your convictions with a level of bravery I can't even fathom. Through your journey here at this school, it has been clear to see that you've made this community better, you've made the people better, you've made the teachers better, you have made me better. Thank you. When you go off to the University of Regina, please remember to use that goofy Sierra sass and that goofy, infectious grin, and I promise, you will always find a way to sneak into somebody's lunch kit, and more likely, their heart. I'd like to invite up Miss Cross.
I invite Jade and Madison to the floor. Last year, I was lucky enough to have Jade, a new Aberdeen student, added to my advisory class. Even in grade 11, she was a leader, kind, considerate, and empathetic. She was a significant presence in my advisory, and I'm so lucky to have been able to work with her these past 2 years. Anyone who meets Jade knows immediately that she has a great sense of humor. And since I enjoy a little laugh once in a while, this particular quality greatly endeared her to me. I even remember the days when Jade felt incredibly stressed about school, dragged herself into advisory, still could laugh. My life lesson to Jade is to always remember to find the humor, especially on the hard days. As you work towards your goals at Western, it'll be hard, but you find that humor, you can do it. Your ability to laugh will help you push through obstacles and achieve success. I wish you happiness on your next journey, and I'm so excited to hear about your successes. Physiological response up here. Okay. Madison is one of, oh gosh, Madison is one of the purest souls I've ever known. She's a ray of light, bursting with laughter, kindness, and a touch of Auntie Madison. I've been so blessed to have her in my life for the past 5 years. Madison's been my person since day one. We immediately bonded when I made a fool of myself over and over again, and some of our favorite inside jokes started in my social psych class. We have since created countless numbers of inside jokes and can now spot each other from across the hallway, and with one small movement, crack each other up. Even when we have tutorials, we can't help but sidetracking to laughter. Madison just makes everything better. I'm so grateful to have been able to spend these past 5 years teaching you, spending time with you, and getting to go on 2 Horizons trips with you. I'm going to miss you so much, but I'm so excited about your next steps.
Could I please call up Jasper, Colby, and Capri? Jasper, you're up first. Jasper Stone. If Michael Phelps and Lance Armstrong combine their lung capacity, I'm still not sure what rival yours. A shark in the pool, a cheat on the pavement, an absolute whiz in the classroom. I was, and still am, in awe of how talented you are, the golden boy. I then got the opportunity to coach you with the senior boys soccer team. We challenged our group of young men to be honest and open in an icebreaker activity, and that's when I got to see Jasper at his best. Not the athlete, not the scholar, but the brave young kid who stood in a room full of all new faces and told his story. Someone who was unafraid to be vulnerable, not an easy task for a young man maturing in this world. To say this is something I've struggled with and still do, that isn't easy for anybody, Jasper. That's the person I hope you can continue to be. You shining your light unconsciously give others permission to do the same. Never stop shining. Capri, you're next. Capri twins rule my first year as a homeroom teacher. A fresh face with a stern gaze that could frighten a ghost. I was terrified of her. What I didn't realize then, and what I do now, is what that gaze represented. A burning fire of determination that has propelled her to excel academically, graduating a full year early, and still will terrify people for years to come. Capri, your desire to be the best at everything you do, and the love you show for the people who are lucky enough to be a part of your life will take you to amazing places. Never forget those people and the memories you've made along the way. We're going to miss you here at Aberdeen Hall, and I wish you the best of luck on your dream of becoming a medical doctor as you start next year at UCO. It is an option. I first met Colby at the young age of 10 while I was working at the skate mill. My only worry during those sessions was making sure Colby and his brother didn't attack each other with their own skates. Later, I went on to coach him in his band AAA year, and finally teach him here at Aberdeen. Hockey has always been a part of Colby's life, but Colby, you have become so much more than just a hockey player. From the bottom of my heart, Colby, it's been amazing to see you grow from the small teenager complaining about the power play formation in the back of the dressing room to the wise, confident, and mature young man you've become. Keep pushing yourself every day, but never lose track of that young kid inside who is more creative with the puck than I could ever dream of being. Even if it did drive you nuts, your desire to play, create, and take risks will take you far in life. Colby is off to Trail next year to play for the Smoke Eaters, and I wish him all the best. Can I now invite up Dr. Hoffman?
Okay, it's my pleasure to call up Charlotte and Jada, please. Charlotte, you'll go first, please. Charlotte first came to Aberdeen Hall in grade 5. From day one, she exhibited endless smiles and enthusiasm for new experiences. Even at an early age, Charlotte had incredible knowledge about dinosaurs and paleontology. Because of her detailed work and her joyfully shared breadth of knowledge, Charlotte won numerous awards for her science fair projects on various aspects of paleontology. Over the years, Charlotte shone on many sports teams, including cross-country running and volleyball. A highlight from grade 12 includes winning a silver medal at the Provincial High School Volleyball Championship. Now an intelligent, beautiful young woman, Charlotte will be going to the University of Alberta next September to pursue further studies in paleobiology under Dr. Curie. And she's extremely enthusiastic about finally pursuing her childhood dream. As she departs, Charlotte will be leaving in her wake the recipe for a happy life, which includes honesty, integrity, and a sense of humor. I'm sure she'll bring not only a warm smile, but also the joy of learning wherever she goes. Jada arrived at Aberdeen Hall in grade 7, and it was easy to see that Jada was an extremely determined young lady, and she didn't let anything stand in the way of her success, whether in academics or sports. Jada was involved in volleyball, swimming, and cross-country running from an early age. Her approach was simply to achieve whatever goal she set her mind to. Even now, on our Geology 12 hikes, Jada was the first one up the mountain. Her favorite memories from grade 12 include being a team captain on the volleyball team and winning the silver medal at provincials. As the all-star player and team captain, she inspired her peers to do their best and have fun at the same time. Jada, you might not know this, but you'll likely be attending U of T this fall to take medicine and then later to specialize in dermatology. I'm sure that Jada's positive attitude and drive to succeed will ensure that her dreams come true. Congratulations. I'd like to call Mr. Hill.
All right, could I get up Aiden, Caitlin, and Simon, please? Look at that, I got first, all right. Aiden, you possess in you something that I think we all wish we had a lot more of, and that is your outstanding ability to persevere through anything. A few months ago at the PRCs, I saw you take what could have been the biggest hit I've ever seen anybody take ever, and you just got up as if it was nothing. Even more recently, you suffered a serious ankle injury in soccer, and instead of using that as an excuse, you used it as an opportunity to become even faster and even stronger. It has truly been an honor to coach you these past 2 years, and not just because of your lightning fast speed and your ability to score tries, although if you want to come back for another year, I wouldn't do that. It's been an honor because you are someone who I admire as an athlete, a leader, and a person. I hope I get the chance to coach you in the blue and gold at UBCO next year. If not, I hope you keep in touch and let me know about all the incredible things you'll accomplish. Congratulations, Aiden. Mr. Ring. Caitlin, I am truly honored to be giving this speech to who could be the greatest home advisor the school has ever taken. From basically running my homeroom, giving halftime speeches at the grade A rugby games, running my AP biology tutorials, I want to thank you for making this such an easy year for me. I'll even go as far to forgive you for spreading the news that I was in a commercial to the entire school. Aside from helping me and making me laugh on a daily basis, Caitlin, you are truly one of the brightest and most thoughtful students I've ever taught. You work tirelessly to succeed, and you are always willing to help your classmates do the same. I will be sad to see you go, but I'll be even happier to hear down the road about the amazing person and nurse that you're sure to become. But if you could you please keep sending me attendance reminders? Congratulations on everything, Caitlin. A tall, skinny, mop-haired kid came in my room, nervous about playing senior rugby as a grade 10. I assured you at the time that I had the utmost confidence in your ability to play at that level, and that you would do just fine. I can tell you truthfully now that we were actually really just starting for numbers that year, so. But if I could, I would love to go back to that day and tell both of us that that frightened kid would become one of the best rugby sevens players in the whole province, would captain the senior boys teams the next 2 years, and be one of the finest young men I've ever had the privilege to coach. I am so proud of the man that you've become through your time at Aberdeen Hall. I cannot wait to see where your drive, determination, and work ethic take you next year. P.S. While you're at UBCO, don't spoil the endings to classic books. Congratulations, Simon. You may now finally untuck your shirt. I'd like to invite up Mr. Bosden.
I'd like to invite up Kaylee and Kazi. Kaylee, you're up. I'm glad to say that despite missing a few advisory blocks, Kaylee has graduated. So you've been very lucky to have her at our school. She's studious and always very pleasant and kind to others. One might say that Grace is her middle name, because it is, which is very apt. When not braiding Aberdeen, Kaylee was often found working at Atlantis water slides. Helping people around her and patching people up with the water slides inspired her to go into nursing. I think it'll be an excellent thing. She'll be going to Lethbridge next year to complete her education. And I've heard she has some anxiety about being blown away by the winds there. As your physics teacher, Kaylee, let me reassure you that since wind force is roughly proportional to your cross-sectional area, you should be just fine. Good luck in nursing in Lethbridge. I'm sure you're going to do great over there. It's been a whole lot of fun having Cassidy in my classes for the last couple of years. She's kind, funny, and very bright. She sometimes undersells her intelligence, though. Test coming up, and you act all worried that you're not going to do that well, and then you just crush it. My theory is this is a technique you learned in karate that you use to make your opponents underestimate you. For a match, I'm imagining this is you. Hello. You look really strong. I totally haven't been practicing enough lately. I don't think this match is going to go well at all. Then BAM! Cassidy kicks some butt. Next year, she'll be off to the UK to study medicine at the University of Glasgow. I'm sure she'll continue to work hard and impress us all. And probably keep the campus safe, too.
Zoe may lack in stature, good choice on the heels today, she definitely makes up for it in heart. She is one of the most compassionate and caring young women I have ever had the privilege to know. When Zoe was in my grade 8 homeroom oh so long ago, she invited me to watch her figure skate. I showed up at the Winfield Arena, and Zoe was dressed as Olaf from Frozen. And it was so adorable. I wanted to put the pictures up, but they wouldn't let me. Today, it was really cute though. I've never told her, but she could probably guess I both cried and laughed while I watched her performing in that little white tutu. Although I haven't taught Zoe now for a couple of years, she always makes the time to find me, to check in, and to fill me in on what's new in her life. Something I hope she will continue long after she leaves us to start her next chapter at the University of Lethbridge, as a perfect fit for her work ethic and her passion for helping others. Zoe will join the faculty of nursing, and I'm sure she will graduate as the most compassionate and caring nurse in that program. Thank you, Zoe, for letting us be a part of your journey here at Aberdeen. Changed the course of his life. The first, less exciting to me, but a love of mathematics. His acceptance at the University of Alberta and the Faculty of Engineering will be a perfect fit for him. However, Matt has a double personality. What you don't see when he's hard at work with his numbers is his other passion, performing, and clearly a love of costuming. That quiet and very shy young kid that I met does not exist anymore. When he found drama, he found his voice. And what a beautiful voice it is. Balancing his academics with acting has paid off. Matthew was also accepted in the Faculty of Arts program if he wanted to major in drama. I will never forget the moment I saw Matt sing on stage in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The theme, I cried. Clearly, for both of my kids here, all I could see was that shy young kid. I could see that little grade 7 kid from 5 years before that was so confident, so incredibly talented, and so proud of himself as an actor. No matter where Matt's future eventually takes him, I'm sure both math and drama are going to play a very large role. And perhaps one day, he'll invite me, well, I'll probably have to buy the ticket though, to his premiere leading role in Pythagoras, the musical. Mr. Cooper, if you'd like to come on up. Ow!
I would like to invite up Hunter, Marissa, and Noah. Hunter, you're up, buddy. Hunter, I won't ever forget the moment that you begrudgingly said, I guess I'll play basketball. It was kind of like that girl or boy that you keep trying to get a date with, and eventually they finally say yes. It took a lot of persuading. I was persistent, but only because I saw tremendous potential in Hunter. Whether he got sick of me asking or he actually wanted to play, he gave me a chance to turn this speedy soccer sniper into the knockdown shooter and pure scorer that he became by his senior year. I won't ever forget a half-court buzzer beater
that you hit to force double overtime against West Point Grey. I won't, it was unbelievable. I also won't ever forget the dagger 3 that you hit against Immaculata in the playoffs when you ended your grade 11 year to end their season. Or the time that Neil and you both tried to eat each 2 orders of chicken fingers and fries at Sam's Pizza and Barrier. As you begin your next steps on your journey studying management at UBCO in the fall, I'm confident that you will achieve the amazing things that I know that you are capable of. Congratulations, honey. All right, Marissa, you're up next. For the last 2 years, I've had the pleasure of teaching Marissa, both in my homeroom and in my chemistry classes. I'm not a math teacher, but that's about 352 hours of instructional time, give or take. Over that entire time, I can't think of even one single time that I've been even mildly upset at Marissa. She has done very well in all those classes, along with all of her other classes, achieving strong grades and making positive contributions to the school culture. More important than any of that is that Marissa is a tremendously caring and thoughtful person. These traits, combined with her academic strengths, will serve her well in the fall as she begins her journey towards a career in medicine, studying science at the University of Western Ontario. I know personally I feel a lot better about my future health, having a caring and intelligent doctor like I know Marissa will become. All right, big fella, come on over. Stand up. I'm gonna try not to cry this year. People often say that all good things must come to an end. Coaching and teaching over the past 4 years has been filled with highs and lows. There have been a few moments where this cowboy tested my patience, but it's mostly been moments of utter pride. Pride as I've watched you throw down massive dunks, a la ripped suit pants of mine, rip down boards and leave absolutely everything you had on the floor, including on a few occasions your own blood. I will never forget the great times we've had on the court and on the road, but we know what happens on the road stays on the road. From the pizza burger incident to the tooth in your head, you've always kept me on my toes and needing to replenish the first aid kit. Although this good thing is coming to an end, it is only just the beginning as your next journey begins in the fall, where you will study engineering at UBCO. I'm proud of the young man you become. I'm proud to call you a student, player, captain, and friend. Ms. Bryan, you're up.
I'd like to invite up Cherry and Sarah, please. Hurry up, Sari. I'm her host mom, I can say that. Cherry, come on. Cherry is a young woman of understated grace and humor. She is a talented artist, expressing herself through her artwork with a depth and maturity that belies her age. Although she doesn't have the loudest voice, Cherry certainly contributes to the betterment of the world, whether it's volunteering at the hospital canteen or simply cracking a quiet joke in a moment of tension. In her This I Believe speech, Cherry spoke of working through her shyness, wanting others to be able to see the kind-hearted, joyful girl that she is on the inside. What I want Cherry to know is that we do see you. We see the smart, the funny, the compassionate young woman who is heading off to art school next year. And whether you decide to attend in Hong Kong or Emily Carr, I have no doubt the Umu community will see you too. Congratulations. So, as you may or may not know, Suri has been my host daughter for the last 2.5 years, and I am certainly better for it, and my husband infinitely so. That's because Sari is a go-getter who is always up for a challenge. She adores food, laughing loudly, we are an excellent pair, and spreading positive vibes to those around her. When I say Sari is a go-getter, I can't emphasize those words enough. Sari grew up in Hong Kong, took a turn in Australia when she was 10, and then still had the wherewithal to come to Canada in 2017 for her final 3 years of high school. Embracing the tough stuff, Sari could be relied upon to work hard in her studies and in perfecting her English. She's always trying new things and showing her resilience by pushing through activities that didn't come easy to her, cross-country skiing maybe. But these are attributes that will serve Sari well as she heads to McMaster University for business next year. Sari, I would wish you the best of luck in your next adventure, but you won't need an ounce of it. You make your own good luck. I'll miss you so much. Sorry? Okay, wait, Mr. Cutler, come on up.
I think by now they know that I'm probably going to be calling them up. Ty and Caleb, let's go boys. Ty, you are up first, and you have no idea how much it took for me not to bring a bag of Doritos for this speech. So when I first started teaching Ty in English 8, his writing was peculiar. He would start each new line further and further away from that thick red margin on his paper's left-hand side. I think this anecdote perfectly sums up who Ty is. The next 5 years were spent lecturing on locker organization, asking, Ty, where's your tie? Confiscating food multiple times in class, and begging, pleading, shouting for him just to follow that margin. I'm sure there are times he thought life would be easier if he could just follow the margin of school expectations, but that's just not who Ty is. Over time, he watched many around him go along to get along, while he questioned and followed what his heart told him was right. I'm sure there are times he thought life would be easier if he could just follow the margin of others' expectations, but that's just not who Ty is. Ty, you're about to start a new chapter in your life, and when you write it, I want you to remember just one thing. Don't follow the margin. With your passion for history, sharp critical mind, and gift of gab, somebody call it a curse, it doesn't surprise me at all to learn that you've fallen in love with philosophy this year. That being said, I'd like to read you an oft-touted quote from Socrates that I think pertains to you. The only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. In saying this, I don't think Socrates is talking about knowledge. Anyone who talks to you for more than 5 minutes knows that you know a lot about our world, from the laws of physics that govern it to the history of the people that live on it. No, I think what Socrates means is that when you have all the pieces to life's puzzle, true wisdom is understanding that there's no one way to fit them together. When you first came to us, you had everything all figured out. Watching you grow into the wisdom that you actually don't has been the most gratifying thing about our time with you. It means that, as you leave for UBC this fall, you're ready to get started. Can't get that out of my life soon enough.
I'd like to call up Drake and Asana, please.
Grace's quiet presence, easy smile, sense of humor, and hard work are what I'll remember about him. This year, he really embraced what it means to be a student at Aberdeen. He found opportunities to mentor young learners. He joined the Ultimate Frisbee team, was part of the history club, and worked harder than ever at his academics. I had many of his teachers come up to me and comment how hard Drake was working this year. He also found a unique way of telling the world how much he loves rides at Six Flags. Right, Sarah? Drake will be making a short drive on either his beloved motorcycle or Jeep to UBCO in the fall, where he will be able to use his work ethic and dedication as he pursues a degree in business management. Congratulations, Drake. Come on up, my son. When I think about Oksana, I can't help but remember the care and attention she paid to her younger teammates on the swim team. Despite being in the middle of her own competition, Oksana always supported, encouraged, mentored, coached, and even herded the other swimmers. I knew I never had to worry about a missed curfew or rowdy behavior when Oksana was on the case. It is no surprise, given her work ethic and attention to detail, that Oksana has excelled academically during her time at Aberdeen. Despite an unwavering attention to her academic achievement, Oksana is also an elite athlete. A short time ago, she had the opportunity to travel to Belgium to compete in that country's swimming nationals, where she won 2 events. Because of her strong performances, Oksana will now have opportunities to work with Belgium's natural coaches to chase her dream of competing at the Olympics, and I can't wait to watch the Olympics next time. I just can't wait to see her. Oksana is traveling south next year as both a student and an athlete, and will be attending the University of Arizona. Congratulations, Oksana. Mr. Austin.
Can I invite Caitlin Callahan and Scotia?
Trying to characterize Caitlin Callahan in 60 seconds feels like being asked to catch oxygen with a fishing net. No matter what you say, the good stuff just keeps flying out because there's so much of it. Caitlin's been in the school since preschool, and for over 13 years, her presence has illuminated our classrooms and our hallways. She's responsible, she's devoted, she's thoughtful, she's energetic and engaging, but most notably, she's just really kind. And Caitlin's kindness is genuine, and she's generous with her friendship, and her empathy knows no bounds. Sharing a moment with Caitlin will stimulate your mind, but it will also nourish your spirit. And with Caitlin, there is no greater wisdom than that can be found in the act of kindness. And in this, you are certainly one of the wisest people I know. I'm confident that I speak for all of us when I say that your time at Aberdeen Hall has been a gift, and that we all look forward to witnessing your ongoing success as you head up to the UBCO next year. All right, Scotia. All right, sometimes you meet somebody whose personality is just so large that it draws you in. And Scotia is one of these magnetic people. And I think that the power of her charisma is it's not about making other people like her. It's more about the ability she has to help other people like themselves. She's joyful, engaging, and like a triple shot of espresso to the soul, she energizes everyone every day. And each moment spent with Scotia recharges your spirit and revitalizes your heart. In class, Scotia regularly shared ideas and opinions that reflected an insight that was beyond her years. I also had the opportunity to learn some valuable things from Scotia and her cohorts. For instance, I now know that there is a saying that goes, "You go off, sis." I also learned that there is a phrase that goes like, "and I oop." Now I'm going to add these to my vocabulary list for next year's AP course because I find them particularly useful. Scotia, you are a wonderful young lady whose engaging personality is only rivaled by your intellect. Thank you for your wit, your joyful heart, and your vivacity. You have made us all better by your presence. And don't forget about us when you head down to UBCO next year, because I know we won't forget about you anytime soon. Congratulations. Hayden Rothlander. Plato once said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." In a world that sometimes seems to suffer from acute verbal diarrhea, Hayden's economic use of words is really sagacious. It's not to say that Hayden doesn't communicate. It's quite the opposite, in fact. It's just Hayden prefers to listen. He likes to let the words he hears sink in before he shares his opinion. I think this is what makes him such a valued friend. He can be trusted to hear, to understand, to react with generosity and thoughtfulness. And when he does share his opinion, people around him are going to pay attention. As Cade's opinions are well considered, his words well chosen, and his ideas enlightened. Next year, Caden plans to attend the University of Calgary, where his new peers will likely learn to appreciate Caden for the thoughtful and caring young man that he has become. Congratulations, Caden.
Can I please invite Jennifer and Justin to the stage? Jennifer, you're up. When I think of Jennifer, I think of tenacity and drive, always holding herself to the highest of standards. In music composition class, she would often decide that the work was not good enough and want to keep refining it, or even start over, striving for harmony and counterpoint on par with the great masters. She approaches her athletic and academic aspirations with the same incredible determination. As an athlete, she is focused on her goal of representing Canada in the international stage of competitive karate. And I have some idea of what it takes to try and achieve that goal, and I have to tell you, it is exhausting to think about it. She tackles her studies with the same intensity and has earned herself a scholarship from the University of Alberta to study science, working towards medical school. Jennifer will experience great success in life because she won't let it happen any other way. Justin Charney is the kind of person you just can't help but admire. As a young teenager, he achieved greater success as a musician than many professionals do in their entire careers. Not only is Justin one of our nation's best drummers, he is a brilliant student who rises to the top of whatever he puts his mind to. Many people would be inclined to call him gifted, but I don't think that does him justice. Justin is one of the hardest working young men I've ever encountered.
His achievements have been earned through hours of practice, study, and a drive for personal improvement, not from any innate abilities. His gift is his work ethic. Justin understood at a young age that to achieve your goals, you have to dedicate yourself to the task. And like a true Renaissance man, Justin will keep his love of the arts alive in his personal life, while he focuses on his new goal of enhancing medical practice, studying bioengineering at McGill University. So the selection of our valedictorian is a process that unites our faculty and our students. Nominated students are individuals who are top academic students, have demonstrated school improvement or involvement, and reflect the positive character traits that we all value at Aberdeen Hall. The valedictorian was elected from the nominees by the faculty and members of the graduating class. This year's valedictorian has been a student council leader, a top academic student, a member of our senior boys basketball team, and a musician who has drummed his way into our hearts. He exemplifies the qualities that we value in our graduates. I'd like to introduce the valedictorian for Aberdeen Hall's class of 2019, Justin Charney.
Thank you, Mr. Stinson. Good evening, family, friends, faculty, and the graduating class of 2019. I'm honored to be here to talk to you about a song, our song. Music has always been a large part of my life. From a young age, I would take pots and pans from my kitchen and turn them into a drum set, wielding wooden spoons as extensions of my arms. Those arms as extensions of the notes within me, which I batched out on the poor metallic kitchenware surfaces. 10 years later, I left the pots, pans, and wooden spoons in the cabinet to pick up the art of percussion. Within my first 3 years of holding sticks, I toured with some of the world's largest hip-hop and R&B artists and played in front of crowds of over 15,000 people. Along with this, I created a YouTube channel which gained over 10 million views, and I scored one of the highest marks out of over 250,000 people on the final level of an internationally recognized music exam. I tell you this because I believe each of us have notes, notes which define the nature of who we are. For me, those notes are creativity, passion, contribution, which I exploit through drumming. Here in our community, our notes have been arranged in a way where they are not only notes, but music. That music is our song, the culmination of our notes coming together to create a whole, which is much more than the sum of its parts. As we come to the end of our time together, I encourage you to let this song be the beginning and the destination, the place you move and grow from, which unexpectedly brings you back to where you started, to realize what was hidden but already present from the beginning. Douglas Hofstadter is a polymath whose life's work is based around how primitives, like neurons, or in our case, notes, become consciousness and music. He discovered that incredible properties arise not from the primitives themselves, but from their arrangements in vast abstract patterns, which he calls strange loops. 10th grade was when I think a lot of us realized we had notes, but they still needed time to find their place. Luckily, we had some incredible teachers and each other to help us along the way as we grew and saw the world unfold before us. And trust me when I say we needed a lot of help. If I compare our song today to Beethoven's Third Symphony, then it started as something akin to Thomas the Pain Train. All who listen to another's notes with compassion or help push someone to unmute their soundtrack inspired me and are the reason I am here today. None of us are self-made. We are built alongside those around us, for our nature is interdependence. I think many of you agree that our greatest lessons from high school have not come from the transferring of knowledge, but from having an environment that gave us the opportunity for an education. An education that entangled our notes through connections with each other and ourselves, reminding us we are not alone, but part of this much larger self. I was not always the good-looking, intelligent young man standing before you today. I used to hide my notes because I thought they weren't good enough, until I realized that thought wasn't my own. It was merely an electrical impulse floating through the mind. There's something in here that already knows where your notes belong, so keep listening to it and let the rest go. If what you want doesn't happen right away, that's okay, because sometimes not getting the goal is better, for it gives you the opportunity to dig deeper within yourself and become stronger. Delays are not denials. You can only fail if you choose to give up. I'm sure many of you may know how time has felt like it has sped up as we've aged. And from what I've heard from people much older than myself, people who are like 30, it doesn't slow down. What you do now might not seem like it matters, but it does, because you are either slowly building things up or tearing them down. Everyone knows Rome was not built in a day, but it also did not fall in a day. It was the little slip-ups here and there that are not dealt with which cause a downward spiral, just as it is consistently doing the little things right which would cause massive changes in a positive direction. Similarly, how the movement or removal of one note can change the entire piece of music, your actions do not begin and end with you alone. You are a node in a vast string. Your effects are exponential, and there are no limits to your impact. Think of this for a moment. You will probably know 1,000 or more people in your life, and that puts your influence one person away from 1 million, and 2 from 1 billion. Next time you are in interaction with someone, think of its rippling effects on 1 million people, and see how that sense of responsibility feels, not just for yourself, but for others as well. It's a scary thought, but also rewarding when you ask yourself what you might become and create if you take the opportunities right in front of you. Put your song forward and allow yourself to be heard. Time waits for no one until soon that currency is gone, and we will come to the end thinking, is this all there is? Don't be afraid to play your music, because at the end of the day, we just want to feel good and know that we have made the world a little bit better because we were in it. Never deny yourself of those pleasures. Whatever you think you need is already inside you. There's no magic box filled with something you don't already know how to feel waiting for you when you make X amount of money or achieve something. This paradox is what makes Strange Loop so interesting, and that ultimate Strange Loop is you. Our song is filled with life, and it's up to us how we will listen and share it. Sometimes we will need a crescendo on the feeling of excitement of riding X2 at Six Flags, or the compassion felt during our days spent at the seniors' home. Other times, we will just need to notice the spaces between the notes, the places where there's room for growth. Together, we have expanded our being, expanded our song, as each of us brought a piece of the whole, which is inseparable from it. You are now the conductor of this song, and we are the orchestra. You can choose when and how to play it, and there's a world waiting to hear. As you branch off and explore new horizons, appreciate how you are not an individual, but something much more than that. You are a collective, so listen to our song and pay attention to your specific contribution. Hear how every note plays off of every other, and find peace in knowing this is something you can come back to. It is seemingly the start of the journey, but it is also the end. It is the place that, as we think we move onward from, brings us back to realize there's more than what we can initially see. As you go on, don't be afraid to entangle our song, your song, with those you meet. We've been guided to this moment through every previous experience. Within all of us is the possibility for greatness, a calling to be great. It's moments like these which shape our path. Feel the song that is in you. It is you. I can't thank you enough for giving everything you have into this time we've had together, and I look forward to our paths crossing again soon. Until then, I would like to leave you with one final statement to reflect on from Douglas Hofstadter. Poised midway between the unvisualized cosmic vastness of curved space-time and the dubious shadowy flickerings of charged quantum, we human beings, more like rainbows and mirages than like raindrops and boulders, are unpredictable, self-writing poems, vague, metaphorical, ambiguous, and sometimes exceedingly beautiful. You have a life of unlimited possibility awaiting you. Everything you need to make your song heard and contribute notes to others is already within you. It is the container which expands in proportion to your courage and resonates through all you touch. So I challenge you, live powerfully, love your life, and play your song. Thank you.
By the way, before we begin, I just want to say that we were selected as the funniest people, so...
Good evening, parents, teachers, and students. It's nice to see that all the grads are here and looking nice. Now, on a completely unrelated note, it's good to see that Jade and Marissa showed up on time. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is Hunter Bluke, and this is Simon Jones. And it is our pleasure and honor to speak as the class historians on behalf of the graduation class of 2019. I've been attending Aberdeen Hall since kindergarten, and it still surprises me to this day how close-knit this class is. Since the beginning of school, I've always thought how much time we had left, and that graduation is very far away. It wasn't until our grad trip where I really started to think that this is it. For most, high school is just a starting point, to college and a career. However, it is so much more than that. High school is a place where we leave our childhood in the past and join adulthood. It is where we made friends, created relationships, and formed lifelong memories that will last a lifetime. We have had many classes, sports teams, and experiences that have helped us find who we are as well as what we want to become. Some of us have been here since kindergarten, and it has been great getting to know and form relationships with those who joined partway through. The experiences made with you guys on Horizons and school trips are memories that won't be forgotten.
Where can I begin? Horizons has always been the highlight of the year for many. Ziplining, precarious hikes, strange games, Mr. Cutler invents. In our more recent years, we've gone to Rockridge, Loon Lake, and Hollywood in the United States. All of these adventures have been exceptionally memorable to us all. This was our opportunity to make new friendships with the newer kids and to make memories with our peers. Trust me, sharing a cabin with 9 other boys was always character developing. Especially when it was entrusted upon us to keep the girls in the lower floor up all night with various activities such as midnight musical chairs, wrestling. I can't comment for the girls, unfortunately, but they did whatever they did. Needless to say, we had a blast. These sorts of things always stay with you and linger in the back of our minds where we keep our memories peddled. Let's set that aside. High school was certainly serious and we all worked very hard to earn our grades, but we're not here to remember that. We're here to remember our bonds and memories with one another.
Another couple of things that I found, or that have been really important to our graduates have been sports teams and fun classes. Every year, our teams always amaze me with how we place in the province. When looking at our placing in sports, it's very important to remember that we are an academic school. Although our sports teams haven't been the best in the past, we are slowly getting better. But no matter how we place, the memories from tournaments, practices, and games will always be there. Now on a more academic note, we may not be the most compassionate, rational, or even best-looking class, but we do know how to get the job done in the classroom. We've had many memorable classes that have always helped us bond. We've had Mr. Boney's math class, where everyone has struggled at some point. We've had mastery, where we still don't really understand why that was a class. We've also had robotics 10, but however, due to circumstances, I'm not currently allowed to talk about that. Through these tough times in math and other courses, or even just bonding in classes that we found really fun or entertaining were the main things that we will reminisce about in the upcoming years. Our classes and extracurricular activities have helped us bond this tightly knit graduation class that I'm sure all of us will miss.
So 13 long years, Mr. Cassidy, of course, come to an end. This is it. We're left with a collection of memories and a lot of information. But life isn't always about studying and working. It's about living, and our class did a heck of a good job at this. Thank you so much for staying on the ride with us, and on behalf of Aberdeen Hall and us, we wish each and every one of you the best in the future. Thank you.
Now invite Mr. Ross to the podium.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so this is the last formal jabbering person on the microphone. This is the part of the speech where I get to say goodbye. And I really enjoy this part, although it always makes me kind of sad, so we'll see if I can make it through. Mrs. Hill always gives me a special label in this, and actually a label too. But she gives me a special label in this book. It reads, "Goodbye from Grant."
I'm always really honored to give this speech because it means a lot to me. But it's a little bittersweet. I look forward to this day all year when I get to watch a group of young men and women cross the stage for one last time as Aberdeen Hall students. It's a moment of great pride and joy for those of us who've witnessed each of you grow from the energetic elementary students through that awkward time into the glowing young adults that you are now. However, it's also a little sad for me. It's sad for us. It's goodbye. So, as this is goodbye, I'd like to leave you with a little bit of parting words. And I won't call these words wisdom because, as you know, I'm far, far, far too young to be wise. This year, our English class studied Tennessee Williams' modern drama and class menagerie. Anna actually referenced this. The play centers around a young lady named Laura, a rather mousy and skittish girl who lives with her rather domineering mother. Now, Laura doesn't feel particularly beautiful. She isn't very skilled. She worries that she's different and she'll never really fit into the world. And as such, she retreats from it entirely, spending most of her time lost in her own thoughts. Laura's amassed this really wonderful collection of sparkling glass animals that she obsessively polishes. She comments on how each particular animal glints and gleams in the sunshine. She marvels over how each figurine captures the beam of light in its own unique way. She rearranges her tiny glass menagerie every day, losing herself in its simplicity and fragile beauty. Now, one evening, Laura meets Jim, a young man who works with Laura's brother, and they talk, dance, they even share a brief kiss. She shows Jim her glass collection, and soon after, Laura gently places her favorite figure in Jim's outstretched palm. Now, it looks like a regular run-of-the-mill horse, but Jim quickly notices the single horn jutting up from its forehead. A unicorn. The only one of its kind in this menagerie of animals. Jim remarks how it catches the light and how it brightens the room. Moments later, Jim places the unicorn back on the table where, of course, shortly thereafter, it tumbles to the floor, snapping the slender horn from the unicorn's head. Sorry, spoiler. Laura stoops to pick up the damaged figurine, and she says, well, now it's just like all the other horses. She goes on to note, I'll just imagine he had an operation and that the horn was removed to make him feel less freakish. Now he'll feel more at home with the other horses, the ones that don't have horns. Jim and Laura continue their conversation and the play proceeds. But I've always found this moment to be powerful and compelling, and a bit tragic. And I'll be honest, I never really knew why, until this year. You know, we live in a world full of unicorns, unique and beautiful creatures that possess wonderful gifts and traits that make us singularly different. People who possess these traits shine brightly, illuminating the lives of the rest of us who might otherwise be living in darkness. Sadly, the majority of these unicorns yearn desperately to be like the run-of-the-mill horses. They desire to fit in, just to fit in with the herd, to join the norm, to be like everyone else. They eagerly sacrifice their fragile horns. Unfortunately, most of us tend to equate uniqueness with freakishness. When I stand here today, I'm reminded of the wonderful talents that lie within this grad class. You're gifted athletes who have astounded and entertained us on the courts and fields. You're artists and musicians who have made the world more beautiful through your crafts. You're inquisitive academics and scholars, and you're resilient, overcoming remarkable obstacles and challenges. You're kind, involved, compassionate. You're all unicorns. And there will be times when the world may seem weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable. And there'll be moments when you feel skittish, lonely, or even incapable. And there will be days when the pressure to fit in feels almost overwhelming. There will be obstacles and opportunities around every corner. And sometimes you may ask yourself, maybe it would be easier if I just did what everybody else was doing. Maybe it would be preferable if I could just ditch this silly porn. And in these moments, I challenge you. Remember Laura's last menagerie. Her collection wasn't special because all the animals were horses. It was noteworthy because every animal was different. It was beautiful because each figurine reflected the light in its own unique way. It wasn't about one special unicorn that stood above them all. It wasn't lonely. It wasn't a freak. It was magnificent. And you were all unicorns. You were all very wonderful. And when light shines, you sparkle and you gleam. And the world around you is brightened by your beauty. And so, class of 2019, as you go forth from this point, remember to cherish yourself, be proud, and be a unicorn. Congratulations. Why you guys came here. This is the money part of the show where you actually receive the diploma. And I will remind you again, this is not an official graduation diploma. You cannot send this off to university. It's for your mantle. It's very beautiful. It's a keepsake. Okay? So we're going to do that in a second. So what we're going to do, we're going to have all the grads line up on the right-hand side. So in a second, I'm going to ask you guys to do that. And you guys are going to come across the stage one at a time. You'll hear your name read by the lovely and talented Mr. Stephen Akery. When you hear your name come to the front, you'll receive your diploma. You get a lovely handshake from yours truly. Mr. Grieve will then adjust the tassel, and you can shake his hand. We will pose for pictures. So if you are a parent and you want a picture of that moment with the diploma and two old guys, or one old guy and one athletically lithe person from Toronto, you're welcome to take. We will also be taking pictures, Mr. Hannon, and with two photographers here. We will share all the photos. So the photos from today, the photos from tomorrow, the photos from the fashion show. Parents will have access to all those pictures. So don't feel if you don't get the perfect picture today, you won't have a picture. All those photos will be shared. Okay? And after we've done your photo at the front, we'll ask our grads to slowly make their way down the ramp, and we'll have them exit briefly to gather outside. And then we'll bring you all back in when we're done, and we'll do the tossing of the caps, of which I will give you instructions at that point. Are we ready to go? Okay, so let's get the grads to line up. Skill testing part of the show in alphabetical order, please. And music.
Charlotte Bennett. Hunter Blukey. Caitlin Callahan. Jerry Chan. Sari Chan. Justin Journey. Colby Elmer. Scotia Fullerton Policy. Zachary Gers. Kasni Govender. Lucas Haberman. Jane Human. Molly Jenkins. Simon Jobs. Sierra Kloje. Quinn Lawler. Hayden Lewis. Caleb Maley. Sunil Mangat. Matthew McLaughlin. Oksana Mertz. Tessa Monahan. Marissa Nye. Kirsten O'Neill. Tai Ogasawara. Madison Okama. Noah Peters. Hannah Phillips. Rachel Pickard. Caitlin Ring. Chase Rowe. Hayden Rocklander. Dre Snitinsky. Capri Silver. Jasper Stone. Zoe Irvin.
Ladies in the way. So many. Okay, we're good.
Yishi Wang. Jennifer Werner. Kaylee Waslowski. Yoshihiro Yamagami. Jada Yerkew. In just a moment, we'll welcome the grad class back in. All right, can you join me in welcoming back to the auditorium the graduating class of 2019?
Marissa?
Wait, they're gonna do the hand toss.
To the left. Good? Awesome. So yeah, we're going to do the toss in a second. So maybe what we'll do is we'll get our sound guy to play a little AC/DC. Can you do that? Okay, so before we do the toss, I want to remind the ground rules for the tossing of the jab. Once again, it is a toss, not a chuck, not a throw, not a hook. So we're just gently tossing. For those of you who have been to SeaWorld, this is like when the big whale does his thing. If you're in the first 3 rows, you may get hit. Gentle toss, and we're going to get a photo of the toss of that. Just what's going to come next. These guys, the hat is yours, so you can grab all the hats the same. You can grab the same one, you wrote your name, you can take it back. The hat is yours, the gown comes back. So after this, we are going to go across the hall. There are some beverages and some snacks. You're more than welcome to stay. If you're in a hurry to watch the Raptors, we won't be offended, but that space is for you. We'll have some photos. We also have our coveted Aberdeen Hall uniform pillow that each grad has earned through graduation, made of uniform materials that can go with you to university, and you can rest your weary head on. So when you give your gown in, you can take your pillow. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for our toss? Our toss. Or I guess we'll count on 3. On 3, we're going to gently toss into the air. 1, and we're going to toss. When I say 3, we're going to toss, just to be clarified. So when I say 3, you toss. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, guys.
Just when I don't hear when we do our own videos, but on the broadcast stuff. So, all right, that went well, and finish it. Yeah.